I think the Pope's pretty busy. The last several popes have all prayed 15 decades of the Rosary. 15, not 5. 15 every day. I'm not saying you have to pray 15. But every one of us should pray at least 5. Takes 15, 20 minutes, that's all. If you're too busy for that, you're too busy, so cut it out and get less busy. And just do it. Too dangerous not to. Young or old. 8 or 80. Do it. And it'll save your life. Don't do it. Might cost you your life. Your spiritual life. From noon onward, there was darkness over the whole land until mid-afternoon. Then toward mid-afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? That cry from the cross takes up the agonized cry of all humanity, from the first man to the last. All of us suffer at one time or another. All of us know pain, we know sorrow. It's not easy. And sometimes we feel abandoned by God. In a very intense way, the church cries out in her members very often, right here, right now, in the age in which we live, my God, why have you abandoned us? I don't have to go into detail, I don't think, to explain to you what that means. I know people that have to drive 3 hours each way to get to a Sunday Mass in this country. In another 10 years, we'll have about 50 to 60% fewer priests than we do now, at the same rates that we have now. My God, why have you abandoned us? In many areas, the people tell me they haven't been to confession in 5, 8, 10 years. Why not? Nobody to hear the confession. In some places, we don't even have individual confessions, only general, which is not permitted by most of the bishops. My God, why have you abandoned us? Jesus is a divine person, and absolutely speaking, he can never be separated from the Father and the Holy Spirit. What happened on the cross was that he was subjected to a kind of darkness through his human nature. He was aware that God's presence was removed. Now, in fact, God's presence was not removed, but he experienced an abandonment. Have you ever felt abandoned by God? Probably yes. Did God, in fact, abandon you? No, where do you think he went? Of course not. He was right there. It was like that for Jesus. God was there, but his perception of the presence of God was removed. And that was a great part of the pain of his soul, the suffering of his passion. I remember once I had to leave a monastery. I had to take off the religious habit I started with, and it was like ripping off my skin. And I had had a very intense awareness of God's presence in the Eucharist for 2 full years. And the moment I left, it was removed. And it was like tearing out my insides. And I walked around hollow, desolate. My God, my God, why have you abandoned